let me call roll, and we'll do the electronic meeting motion. Councilmember Gamble, I don't see. Councilmember Hall. I see Councilmember Hancock, and thank you to Councilmember Hancock for agreeing to serve as vice chair of the committee. I see Councilmember Pulley, I think.
Yes, I'm on.
Yep,
Can you hear me?
I see you. Yep. Thank you. Councilmember Roberts. I saw Councilmember Sledge, and I saw Councilmember Swope, and Councilmember Weathers is here, and Councilmember Young. All right, and there I see Councilmember Roberts. So Councilmember Gamble and Hall and Young. All right, if anybody sees them, come in, let me know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we got 8. All right, let me do the electronic motion. If somebody can, I'll read it, and if somebody can make the motion. Pursuant to Governor Lee's executive order number 16 regarding electronic meetings, as extended by executive orders number 34, 51, and 60, I make a motion that this committee meeting agenda constitutes essential business of the Metropolitan Council, and that meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans in light of the COVID-19 outbreak.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. We have a fairly short agenda today with 3 items. Also, as going forward, when we have I've advocated that we have some longer meetings so that we can have guests and hear about the different departments that make up our committee, and we'll schedule those accordingly. I know we've got a stakeholder meeting about a codes bill that's coming forward that the administration and the Councilman Sledge have worked on, and so there's a stakeholder meeting for that next Tuesday about updating the building codes. And I'm sure you'll be hearing more about that. And all right, so we've got 3 bills today, or 2 resolutions and a bill. The first is resolution RS 2025-23 by Councilman O'Connell. It exempts 11 Music Square East apartment number 504 from the minimum distance requirements for obtaining a short-term rental property not owner-occupied permit pursuant to section something in the Metro Code. I think there was something that's supposed to be there, but pursuant to Metro, the applicable section in the Metro Code. I see Councilman O'Connell is here.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
If somebody could put it on the agenda.
So moved.
All right, thank you. All right, Councilman O'Connell, would you like to speak to your bill or resolution?
Sure. This after Councilmember Sledge's distance requirement bill for short-term rental permits, which I appreciate. This is a building that is a multi-unit building that already has a number of non-owner occupied short-term rental permits, and so I think it is appropriate for that use to continue here. I have not gone on a unit-by-unit basis to see if this is a replacement of a unit that was already in effect as housing, but just overall, given the number of permits already extant in this building, I did not see this as a problematic situation. So I would encourage colleagues to support it.
All right. Thank you, sir. Any questions or discussion? Councilman Sledge.
Thank you, Chair. Just wanted to note, during our discussion of this, the legislation that this falls under, I know one of the questions that came up from some folks were, what happens when, this exact instance occurs? A council member comes, says, I've reviewed it, I've looked at this, I think that this is an appropriate use. I think there was a fear that there wouldn't be basically the listening to that council member, the deference to that council member. I just want to say I support this. I trust Councilmember O'Connell's gone through that process, and I think this is exactly how I had hoped the process would. So,
and Mr. Chair, just briefly to that point, I honestly think this is a process that we maybe should have considered for broader application for the permits overall, considering how impactful they have turned out to be for constituents. And I mean, again, this also demonstrates the fact that I don't think there are member, or at least if there are, it's a rare condition that somebody is against the idea of these permits having utility in the city, supporting the existence of a short-term rental permit. Because I think it's in a location that is appropriate where there has been present.
All right, noted. Thank you. All right, any other questions or comments or comments? Not seeing anyone. Are we ready to vote on the bill, on the resolution? All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Aye.
Sure.
Any opposed? All right. Any abstentions? All right. The resolution passes 8-0. Thank you. All right. We also have a late filed resolution. It is a resolution accepting a grant from Second Harvest Food Bank of Middle Tennessee to the Metropolitan government, acting by and through the Nashville Farmers Market for $100,000 in CARES Act funds to be used to reimburse farmers market vendors and farmers who accept food vouchers provided by Second Harvest to Davidson County residents affected by COVID-19.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Is Councilmember Sepulveda on the machine? I also, she's listed as a sponsor, but I also signed on to this late filed resolution. I'm happy to carry it forward in committee. I think our farmers market business has been hurt like many others have, and anything that can help them out. I did see Ms. Kennard here. Yes, Ms. Kennard, the executive director of the farmers market. Would you like to speak to this?
Thank you, Chairman. I appreciate you guys reviewing legislation. I apologize that it is a late file. This program and appropriation of funds is moving very quickly so that we can appropriate these funds and administer the grant prior to the deadline of December 30th, which is when those funds would expire. We do anticipate being able to serve 1,000 families that are impacted by COVID through this program, and it is being considered as a pilot. Success that we do believe we're going to find based on best practices with other farmers markets and food banks throughout the country, then we will work with Second Harvest and other community partners to find long-term funding for a voucher program. So we appreciate your support and everything that you do to keep our city moving.
Thank you for your work. Now, let me ask one of the more senior members. This is a late filed resolution, so should I have asked for if there are objections like we would do if it were on the floor of the council, or is that just?
You are correct.
I do need to do that?
Yes.
Okay. Are there any objections to?
This is Hannah. I don't think that you need to ask for objections. So rules deals with whether the rule should be suspended. This committee just deals with the actual substance of the resolution.
Okay. All right. Thank you. All right. Let's see if there are any questions or comments. Councilmember O'Connell.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. As the council member whose district is where the farmers market resides, and as somebody who signed on to this as well, I would just like to echo some support for this. I think this initiative is important from just a food and nutrition standpoint, but also from the standpoint of supporting a valuable partnership at the farmers market. So I hope colleagues will support. Thank you.
Thank you for those words. Anyone else? All right, thank you. Are we ready to vote on the resolution? All those in favor of the resolution?
Yes.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, I've recorded this as 8 in favor and 0 against. Any corrections to that? All right. Thank you. The resolution, we recommend the resolution. All right, last on our agenda is Bill 2024-25 by Councilman Rosenberg. It amends the Metro Code to restrict the amount of fill material that can be placed upon property in close proximity to a river. Can someone put that on our agenda?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Thank you. All right, Councilman, I see Councilman Rosenberg. Would you like to speak to the bill?
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and I apologize. We're literally in the middle of the bill in Public Works as well, so I'm not exactly sure what to do, so I'll at least introduce it.
Okay.
To start. This bill would limit the amount of fill that can be dumped onto a property adjacent to a river. It's primarily related to concerns regarding water quality, as projects have used fill full of pollutants or flows created that directs other pollutants into the water. And with state level exemptions for AR2A zone property, we have no oversight authority. So under this legislation, council would be able to permit the dumping of excess fill on a case-by-case basis, and that would be following a determination from Metro Stormwater that it will not have an adverse effect on water quality. So I had open questions and would appreciate your support.
Thank you, sir. Are there any questions or Councilman Swope?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This question is to the sponsor. Councilman Rosenberg, what's your definition of a river?
My understanding, when I spoke with Mr. Cooper about the bill, his inclination was that our rivers are the ones with that end in the word river. There's an ongoing conversation in Public Works right now about stormwater and whether they have a specifically defined word for it beyond that, or definition for it beyond that.
What it, and all due respect to what you're trying to do here, and I actually support this, but you know, we have everything from creeks to blue line creeks, and,
right.
And it causes a massive amount of confusion considering my entire district is in the Mill Creek watershed.
Sure.
The word river is pretty loosely connotated here, and I'm wondering whether we might want a definition from stormwater. Councilman, that's back to you.
Okay, I don't know if anybody, any lawyers are on hand, but I'd certainly the intent of the bill is to go after the larger waterways, especially ones that provide drinking water in Davidson County, Cheatham County, Dixon County. So if we need to tighten up the definition moving forward, I'm certainly open to that.
Okay, and like I said, Councilman, I agree with this. I think we do need to tighten it up, and it might help stormwater and public works moving forward to do exactly that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilmember Sledge.
Thanks, Chair. Just similar to Councilmember Swope. Yeah, if we can get those tightened, because we do. I think Councilmember Swope and I both are in watersheds that have some of the lowest flood levels, basically. And so if we can get those depths, I'm in support of this too. I just want to make sure that it's covered, because believe it or not, even in a district near the urban core, we've got a lot of this issue going on regarding specifically fill dumping here for my district, anyway, for Browns Creek. And so supportive, just want to make sure that it's included. So thanks.
Thank you, Councilman. Fair enough. Councilman Withers.
Thank you, Chair. Because this is, I think the committee is in agreement, but there may be some definition. I guess I had a question about river. I guess I had a question maybe for the legal department. If Mrs. Zeitlin or Mr. Cooper's on.
This is Hannah Zeitlin. I'm on.
Thank you, Hannah. I guess my question is, if our concern is about the definition of the word river, is that something that would have to be defined in the text of this ordinance, or would that be something that would be defined somewhere else within the Metro Code?
So it could be defined either way. There could be a general definition added to the Metro Code. There could be a specific definition added to this section. It would be something like, for the purposes of this section, river is defined as X. I will say that I've been checking the Metro Code. It does not look like there is a general definition of river, but river is used throughout the code. And I believe that it tends to be used in the context of things like the Cumberland River or something like that, a navigable river.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. I guess what I would like to do, I think that everyone would probably be on board. I would like to move approval, but request re-referral to this committee on third.
Second.
All right, Councilman Rosenberg, anything else?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. For what it's worth, in Public Works, the conversation was in the conversation about creeks and whether creeks could become a part of the bill or would be protected from the bill. Mr. Cooper indicated, I'm sure Ms. Zeitlin would also, that since the caption of the bill only mentions rivers, that creeks cannot be brought into this bill. But certainly to the points that Councilmember Swope and Withers and maybe somebody else when I turn my head made, I'm all for making sure that we're defining rivers accurately. Thank you.
All right, I'm trying to scroll and see if there are any more hands. All right, so we have a motion to approve and with a re-referral back to this committee, and it's been properly seconded. Are we ready to vote? All right, all those in favor of the bill?
Aye.
Yes.
Aye.
Any opposed? And any abstentions? All right, I'm recording the vote as 8 approve and 0 disapprove. All right, that covers our agenda. Anyone have anything else that they want to share? All right, thank you. See you in a little bit.